Hey everyone, welcome back to another Friday with Dannphan. I'm playing with a fan because it is quite nice. Yeah. Well, this was really tight when I first bought it so that I couldn't fling it shut or fling it open. I still can't really fling it open that well, but it's a little bit better now that I've loosened it up. It's nice. It's a nice feeling. I actually got this at Epcot. Fun fact. Years ago. I just haven't been playing around with it nearly enough to have it close and everything. But it's fun. Yeah, very fancy. Thank you. So, how is everyone doing this Friday? I'm pretty happy. It was a hectic week. Very hectic. Oh, God. But we did finish up the Horizon Quest fulfillment. Finished it up in 2 days. So that is great. And hopefully a lot of people are getting their books and enjoying them. Now I put Horizon Quest onto the Burning Star website. So for those of you who missed the campaign, you can get it from there. Whew. I'm already exhausted, and we just started the stream. I think it's just talking about things that were exhausting are exhausting me now. But it's a big load off my chest to finally have the Horizon Quest campaign finished. Obviously, it should have been finished like much sooner, but the mail, you know how it is. So now I can put a lot of my focus onto the Reaper project. For those of you who haven't seen it, yes, this is the new project that I'm trying to get started up. Big project, big series project. So hopefully people are interested in this. I'm going to have a preview read come out very soon. I just finished doing the preview. It's going to be a big preview too. It's going to be like 26 pages, which, is a huge chunk of the story. But since the first book is going to be around 100 pages, it's, it'll still leave you wanting to read more, hopefully, if I did the preview correctly, of course. But I still have to get some people's opinions on that, on the preview read, and maybe fix some more dialogue up, check for typos, that type of stuff. And then come August, I'm going to be posting that for people to read. I'll probably post it sooner on the fan club. Maybe I'll post it on the fan club tomorrow, or maybe just an unedited version on the fan club. For those of you who sign up for the subscribe star, yeah, I'll give you a solid and let you read the preview first, because that's what you're paying for, But yes. I got it. I enjoyed. Can you let Adam know that I enjoy his book so far? I will let Adam know that. And glad to hear. I feel like I missed a little bit of a conversation that was happening in the chat, because I have no idea what people are talking about. Do you know manga characters are based on cats? Yes, all manga characters are cats. You got me. Anyway. It's funny, so long as we're on the topic of manga, I went to the comic book store not too long ago, picked up some new manga. One of them, I got it over here, actually. This is pretty funny. And This is a mini-series, from what I understand. I think there's only 5 volumes in total. I picked up the first one. It's one of the rare times where I pick up a manga to read it for the first time, paperback, right at the store, because the premise alone sold me on it. Normally, nowadays, I just read all my manga digitally, because it's just really, really convenient. So that's just kind of how that ended up going. But this one is pretty funny. So the idea is this assassin girl, a billionaire at a pharmaceutical company, I believe it was. He falls in love with her and then finds out that she's an assassin. So the way that he tries to hook up with her is by hiring her for a hit on himself, so that she'll try to assassinate him. And he can like get a chance to see her again. It's very goofy, but it was pretty enjoyable. I've only read, of course, the first volume because that's all I bought at the store. But I'd be interested in reading another volume, especially since it's only like 5 volumes in total. That's a pretty easy read, you know? I wonder if it's only 5 volumes because it was canceled, or because that's just how it was actually supposed to be, just like a short series. It's kind of hard to tell these days with manga, because usually what they want is a long ongoing series for everything. And then if it's short, chances are it's just because it was canceled. But I think there's some respect when it comes to like a writer just being like, no, I only wrote the story to be this long, so it just has to be this long, you know? There was something quite shocking, though, I gotta say. This is coming from Seven Seas Entertainment, and it was rated, at least on the back, it was rated older teen 15 plus. So let me get some of your opinions on this. How old do you think a reader has to be to look at nudity in a manga or comic? It's a very interesting question, right? Because usually 18 was the line, a very solid line of you have to be 18 to see nudity. Although I do know some PG-13 movies way back in the 90s that would have like one shot of a girl's nips. And then that would be like the saucy. It's the same thing with the F word, right? You can say fuck once in a PG-13 movie, but any more, then it gets to the 18 plus. And it would be kind of like that, I guess, for PG-13 when it came to nipples. Although I think nowadays people still consider the cutoff point to be, no, if you're going to show a girl's nipples, it should be 18 plus. So let me get some of your opinions on it. At least 17 or 18, yes. 10 plus, it's not real. 5, yo, Jesus. Compares to the nudity? Compares to nudity? I don't know what that means. Perhaps for older teens? Well, it's interesting because I never really considered 15 to be an age considered older teen. I mean, I guess they're older than 13, but not by that much. When I think older teen, I think 17 or 16, maybe. That, if you're able to drive, then you get the older teen rating. 15 is a little bit younger than I would assume. 13, PG-13, 11 years is good. My God, I'm getting so many. Are most of you just putting in joke answers? Because I really did want your honest opinions. 15 is right in the middle, not too old, not too young. All right, it's fair. Maybe 16, 17. 15 is the age of consent in Poland. Not here. Not here. Puberty should be okay, 13 to 15. Okay. 13 to 15 and you get to see some nipples. All right. I'll have to consider that with my own age ratings, I suppose, because right now my cutoff point is, yeah, I don't even have I don't have an early teen, mid-teen, older teen ratings for my comics. I just say teen 14 plus. Like if you're 14 years old, 14 to like 17 or wherever, this is safe. And I guess maybe like some of the comics that I put out with the 14 plus are a little bit, I don't know, more mature than some of the, definitely some of the DCYAs can be pretty not mature. But nudity does not necessarily mean pornographic, depends on the context. Okay, so if they're not fucking someone, the nudity is fine? Is that your point? I mean, I could see that, because it's like, okay, there are like Roman statues with some nips on them. But there is like frontal nudity in this manga. And I wasn't expecting it, because I was thinking that this was, what I was reading was going to be like a, regular ass teen manga. I wasn't expecting them to go full nip. And normally in manga that's aimed at teenagers, they censor the nipples. Like they have boobs and you can tell that the girl is supposed to be nude, but they'll put like a towel over her, or they'll do that white effect over the nipples so that you don't see them, like steam and stuff like that. And so when we got to the point where like the main character, the guy, is like sexually fantasizing about her, I wasn't expecting big old nipples. Of course, I'm an adult, I can handle nipples, but it shocked me because it was 15 plus on the rating. And I was like, oh, they let the age ratings let like teenagers look at nipples now? Because I thought that it all had to be censored. I don't know. I mean, like I mentioned in my review for Zombie 100, just like there's nipples in the first chapter, but then all the later chapters are censored. And I was like, well, what's the point? They already saw the nipples. And now I'm wondering, is it one of those things like in older PG-13 movies where like you get one view of nipples and then no more nipples for you? Because it happens like in one or two panels where they show her nipples. I think it was one or two panels. I wasn't really keeping count. I'm not a nipple fanatic, but so maybe that's the idea. Like, oh, it's okay for teens to, if they only see it a few times, then like then after that, maybe all the nipples are censored and it's fine. Show us the nipple. I can't. It goes against YouTube guidelines. I actually cannot show it here, even though this YouTube is supposedly made for adults. There's YouTube Kids, and then there's the regular YouTube, and I can't show nips. I can't show nips on this YouTube, not unless I'm doing naked yoga. That's the only scenario where they let me show you nips. But yeah. If you do want to check out the manga, you can go check it out. Like I said, I haven't read all of it, so I can't wholeheartedly recommend it, but I enjoyed the first volume. And you can see what I mean when I say, oh, there's nipples in here. I did look into it just because I was curious. I looked on Seven Seas Entertainment's website, and I found out that they originally had like 3 separate ratings for teenagers, which to me seems a bit excessive. I would hope that you could just like cover it with teen, most of the time. But there's teen 13 plus, older teen 15 plus, and then older teen 17 plus. So my God, the years are very, very different from one another. But then down the list, it says that titles carrying an older teen 15 and older teen 17 were previously unified under a single older teen rating intended for readers 16 and older, which makes more sense to me, but I don't know why they separated them. Especially because like the older teen 15 plus rating, which is what they listed for this, right? It says that there's only partial nudity, which would mean, in my book at least, no nipples. It would like hint at the nudity, but it wouldn't show you any full nudity. So I don't know. What's the point of separating the 16 plus rating if you're not going to listen to the new restriction anyway, right? But whatever. People are afraid of nudity and sexuality either for conservative or progressive reasons. Well, I mean, politics in general, the reason why they're separated into groups like that is because you're separating groups of different opinions. Like, of course, that, yeah, you just nailed politics down. Congratulations. Men nipples are permitted? Well, yes, because men aren't women. Oh, sorry. I can't say that on YouTube. They'll get me banned. Oh no, I recognize gender differences. I'm so bad. IDK ratings seem to not matter as much in some cases. I don't know. I'm just very curious about it. That's just my point. I'm just very curious, like, where's the line? Because it seems like it's always changing throughout different years, like what's allowed for who to read, right? That's the most controversial thing you've said this stream. Yeah, I guess so. Hashtag canceled. That's it. Dannphan permanently canceled forever. I said men and women are different. Oh no. Well, it's whatever. But yeah, that's just for 7Cs. I know that other publishers will have different lines when it comes to age ratings and different age ratings in general. But yeah, I mean, like, even if you don't allow teenagers to pick up a book that has nips in it, right? They can still like pick up an 18 plus book, right? It's, you know, classic lying about your age, even on the internet. It happens. But I feel like it's more so important for me to know what I'm getting into. That's like more important when it comes to the age ratings, is me understanding what the contents of the book is. Even though I can read all of it, I can read all the manga. There are no restrictions for my reading pleasure because I am an adult, but I want to know how intense it's going to be before I get into something. But you know. But Webtoon these days basically thinks porn is acceptable for all ages, so there's definitely a lot of different opinions when it comes to censorship and whatnot. So for those of you just tuning in, we'll pass over that But it was very interesting to get your opinions on age ratings when it comes to nudity. So for those of you just tuning in, I'll recap what I talked about at the beginning. We finished the Horizon Quest campaign. So everyone who ordered a copy, you should be getting your books real soon, if you haven't gotten them already, of course. And everybody who missed the campaign, you can go check it out on burningstarcomics.net, because the books are officially uploaded on there. Woo! So you can purchase them there. Excelente. I never caught on to the ratings in the case of Seven Seas. All I know from them is anything they have with the Ghost Ship logo means it's intended for mature audiences. I've never noticed that. I always thought all the ships look the same. Is this fake news? Are you trying to like mess with my head here? I'm pretty sure all the ships look the same. God damn it. Now I have to... I don't know. There are some really weird instances. I'll say this much. There are some weird instances of printed hentai volumes just being left out like right next to the kids section. And I thought that was freaky. I thought that, okay, like, you want to like wrap this up in plastic or put it on a higher shelf? Something? I don't know. I thought that was a little bit too far. Like actual pornographic stuff? Okay. Where it's just right on the cover for everyone to see? Alrighty, buddy. See their website and you see what I mean. I was just on the website. 17th Entertainment. What am I looking for? Series? No, it doesn't show you the... Oh, okay. So the genre is called Ghost Ship. I thought it was just a logo that looked like a ghost ship. Oh god, there's a lot of trash in this section. I'm sorry. I'm just saying what anyone else would think if they looked at this section. All right, well now I know. Thanks for the new information. But yeah, a lot of ecchi in that line. Yeah, it's a little bit beyond, I would say, but yeah, sure. Yeah, from what I understood, like ecchi was supposed to just be like extra saucy for adults, but without being porn. But a lot of people just like lump in ecchi and porn into the same thing. So I don't actually know. Do you go to Castle Island often? I have no idea what you're talking about. Do you have a schedule to work on your drawing, or do you just do it whenever? I somewhat do. My schedule tends to just get reorganized all the time, depending on what the heck's going on around me. But basically, I try to do, at least at this point, I try to do like 1 page a day for Reaper, for example. Now I'm going to be taking like a break because I finished up the preview read and I want to get opinions on that and move forward with publishing that for people to look at and decide whether or not they'd be interested in, of course, backing the campaign. And if we get 500 signups on the mailing list, I was hoping maybe we could just go forward with it and launch this year. And then I would like dedicate my time to just working on Reaper. But yeah, 1 page a day, and then I try to take like at least 1 day a week to take a break, or at least take a break and do other things. But it's tough. ecchi is just girls being sexy, but no nudes? Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've seen anime under the title of ecchi that had some nudity in it. Or maybe like, like I said before, the nudes, but like no nipples. Yeah, I got introduced to ecchi way too young, by the way. Oh yeah, I heard about this. Manga is only 1% of Dark Horse content, but it brings 66% of sales. I believe it, because I do not know that many Dark Horse comics, but I know a lot of Dark Horse manga. Oh man, that was great. Let me see. Can I bring up the article? Where's the original article? Now, I guess I can just share the Bounding into Comics one. So, there it is. Well, this is the Bounding into Comics recap, at least. So, what was it? During an appearance at San Diego Comic-Con as part of the Found in Translation journalist Deb Aoki reported that Combos relayed during the panel, it's important to remember that manga was made for Japanese readers. At Dark Horse Comics, manga is 1% of our output, but it represents 66% of our sales. That is quite brutal. But it goes to show just, how bad American-made content is doing in comparison to people overseas, of course. Berserk, of course, Berserk is going to be their highest selling property, though. I mean, if we're being real here, what else do they got? I know I sound so brutal, but I don't know. E-commerce strategy. Is this part of their slideshow? While sales at things from Another World were flat, sales at Dark Horse Digital did see a significant bump during the COVID lockdowns. I mean, duh. People are going to be reading digitally. Makes sense. In 2018 and 2019, sales were flat at 3.4 million, significantly increased to 5.5 million in 2020, and then declined to 4.3 million in 2021. Still upwards, though. So, it's not bad. And Mob Psycho, yes, all good stuff. All right. Honestly, I'm not seeing that much useful information here, but but it is funny that, of course, manga is going to be most of their sales. Honestly, I think it would be fantastic for me to look into licensing manga in the future, assuming, of course, this whole publishing thing works out. It wouldn't be that bad of an idea to be like, hey, I like this manga series. I would like to publish the English version of it. Because there's definitely a whole lot of manga series that I read that I feel like are just completely underrated or nobody knows about them. And it makes me motivated for something that I can't do, right? Because it makes me want to push the manga out to people or help sell it in some other way. I mean, I do the reviews on my channel, but nobody watches those. Speaking of which, I think in general, YouTube is just not a lover of comic-related content. I think the only way you can make a comic or manga-related channel work these days is just by basically turning it political, or like trying to add some spice into it, like trying to do the news approach rather than just doing reviews. You have to also like have news coverage. something like that, because I've noticed it's not just me. I've noticed it with other channels. There used to be so many channels that covered anime content, and then you look at them now and they're barely covering any anime anymore. They're all doing something completely different. And like, there's Chibi reviews, right? He still covers manga, but if you look at his videos, they're super inconsistent in view count. And 90% of the time when he covers like a manga that he really enjoyed that's new, usually there's just like no views on that video. And then the next video where he like, I don't know, does some sort of clickbaity thumbnail or something, that gets a bunch of views. Or just a video where he talks about the latest chapter of whatever and then makes some random conclusion from it. Yeah, Teching 101 talked about that issue. And Teching has been doing a little bit better, but he basically has to stick to theorist videos and stuff like that to really get anywhere. Because once you try, it's just like something about YouTube just doesn't really work that well for reviewing content. But yeah, Teching, I would argue, is in a pretty good position because he's very One Piece based. People can always rely on this channel to always cover One Piece related stuff. But yeah, I mean, if he wanted to branch out and start covering other anime, it would be very difficult for him to do so. Because the YouTube algorithm just isn't smart enough to figure out how to do that. And it's really frustrating because it used to work. It used to work fairly decent. And then I don't know. I don't understand what the change did that made it not work as well. Hey Dan, ever heard or read a manga called I'm Kinda Chubby and I'm Your Hero? No, but you've gotten my curiosity. Let me look this up. I'm kind of chubby, but here. Let's see. Is there an image I can put to this? What is this? What the fuck did you send me? I'm not reading this. No, we're done. It's a good title, though. That's a good title. I wasn't expecting to see the cover be some low testosterone yaoi, though. His main channel is One Piece, but when he uploaded Bleach reviews and everything came down. Yes. Now he has 2 channels. You know, I think I vaguely remember he did have a second channel, but I'm not subscribed to it, so I don't know what it is. And I don't, despite being subscribed to Teching 101, I don't think I've ever seen any videos from his alt channel. But, you know, I have talked to Teching in the chat. Oh man, you must be pretty famous. I have a super old collaboration with Teching 101, and I did really, really badly in that video. I did so badly that I'm like embarrassed of the video. But to be fair, it was years ago. And that was back when I did One Piece chapter reviews, and I kind of don't really feel like doing them anymore. I've kind of fallen out of love of covering every single chapter of One Piece till I die. But, you know. But yeah, that was a terrible video. I wouldn't blame him if he also did not like that video. I was so nervous. It was, man, I would like to think that I'm much better at collaborating now and doing videos with people. But yeah, that was just early Dannphan was cringe. YouTube keeps changing its algo based on its agenda. I mean, everyone's got their own agenda, and business does as well, I suppose. I just don't understand, like, what did comics ever do to you, YouTube? Like, what was I doing? There's so many people who are like, oh my god, I love your channel, but I never see your videos on my homepage. And I'm like, I'm sorry. It could also, I mean, like, excusing YouTube. Let's say that let's say that YouTube has our best interests in mind, and the algorithm was supposed to help us. Maybe the problem is people don't want to hear manga anime reviews anymore. You could argue that. Maybe people just want to be on their own. I don't know. Have you read Sakamoto Days or Akane Bashi? I've read Akane Banashi. I know I said it wrong the first time. I always say things wrong. You should be used to this by now. I have not read Sakamoto Days. I want to. I have it on my reading list. I just haven't really gotten around to it. But Akane, that's the one with the girl who does that. Yeah, I don't even know what it's called. It's like storytelling, but with a musical instrument, and you act out all the voices. That's not the only manga that I've read with that type of thing in it. I just don't get it. And maybe it's because I'm not Japanese, or maybe it just doesn't cling to me. But I'm just not into it, and I'm not into manga that focuses on that thing. So can't get into it. It's just impossible. I've read more than one manga where that is the focus and that is the hook, and it just bounces right off of me. It's just, nope, not into it. But I don't blame anyone else for liking it. I mean, if you're into that thing, enjoy. I guess even YouTube knows that mainstream comics are dying, and indie comic creators on YouTube kind of suffer from it. It's brutal. Definitely. I'm kind of thinking of different ways to combat it while still doing the videos that I want to make, but it's difficult. The only thing that I'm doing right now, the thing that I'm trying right now, not really succeeding, is by doing the manga reviews alongside also doing the read-throughs. And the read-throughs have a much better chance of getting picked up by the algorithm, of course. Funny enough, my read-throughs, in particular mine, don't do very well in comparison to other channels, other people doing what is essentially the same video. I don't know why. I guess I'm just bad at it. But yes, my read-through videos, I put a lot of effort into them, but they do not get picked up by the algorithm. It's very rare that it actually gets picked up and gets a bunch of views. Very rare. But when it does, it's good. So basically my balancing act has been manga review, where I'm actually being like serious and telling you what I thought about a manga series, and then the read-throughs where I'm just reading trash and laughing at it, and then hoping that this particular trash is going to get picked up and get a bunch of views. Make TikTok reaction videos and follow the trends. Yeah, I guess that's what I gotta do, right? Are there any like comic-based TikTok shit that I can read? Thanks for the donation, Edgy Etchy. Murinase Seitan Gakuen anime destroyed my brain. I love honey badgers now. Please read Kindergarten Wars. It's the best manga out there in Jump. I've been reading Kindergarten Wars. I like the premise. I like the premise of Kindergarten Wars, where it's like, this is the safest school. All the rich people send their kids to this school because it's so safe. And then you think to yourself, how do they make it so safe? Why is this school so much safer than all the other schools? And then it turns out they just armed the teachers. It's the most like... I mean, I shouldn't be surprised. I know that Japan is pretty conservative, but that is the most Republican talking point, is arm the teachers to protect the kids. The one thing that I don't like about the premise is the idea that they're supposed to be reformed criminals that take place of the teachers. That's the one thing that I don't really get, because it's like, so you have these very valuable kids, and the people that you hired to protect these kids are criminals? Not sure that makes sense, but you know, I could get it if there's like 1 or 2 reformed criminals on board. Sure. But, you know, for the most part, literally any assassin could just be saying, hey, I'm reformed, and then shoot the kid they're supposed to kill. It just doesn't add up, you know? But Kindergarten Wars is funny. I've been falling a little bit out of love with it. So I haven't read the latest chapters. I will catch up, but it was kind of losing my interest for a while. But it is funny. It's a funny premise, and it is enjoyable. So, Anime America is solid. Let me see. What else do we got here? Mix up some manga reviews with movie reviews. Yeah, just mention Oppenheimer or Barbie. Yes, that'll get me picked up. I also feel like somewhat timid about just cashing in on whatever trend is getting picked up by the algorithm, though. I know that that is the easiest way to get success, but let's be honest, am I really gonna enjoy it? Am I really gonna enjoy just covering topics I have zero interest in? And will I really get more people to read my comics who are not comics people? You know? Like, a lot of people might watch my video talking about Barbie, but how many of them will actually then buy one of my comics? How many of them actually care about comics in general? I don't know. Read Inuyasha. It's an amazing manga, according to my sister. Inuyasha is fun. I think it went on for way too long, but Inuyasha is solid, I would say. Every student should carry guns. Yes. Mini nukes for every student. Let's go, Fallout universe. Only the reformed part doesn't track with American teachers. Very funny. Reminds me of that webtoon about bringing back corporal punishment to Korean schools. It was weird. I don't know. I don't know about that, but death ray for all teachers. There we go. There we go. You got to keep those kids safe, man. No matter what it takes, you keep those kids safe. Even if you got to kill those kids, you kill those kids safely. I may know why, but why is it that you dislike webtoons? There's a bunch of reasons, really. Well, even like webtoon creators tend to dislike webtoon. So there's a lot of crap on webtoons that either just, you know, fizzles out in the big ocean of stuff, or they add in some sexual element to then get picked up by the webtoon algorithm, which there is a webtoon algorithm, and it's basically all sexual stuff. But, you know. So then they get a bunch of readers that way, and then they link people to their Patreon or whatever, where they can read like the full nudity porn of said comic. So the official people at Webtoon realized this was the case, and then started doing Webtoon originals with that same exact hook of it being like vaguely sexual and then linking to the person's Patreon where they can read the full porn. So there's a couple different webtoons like that. And it's kind of weird. But yeah, Webtoon has a bad track record in general of bad treatment to their creators. And obviously, you know, different experiences for every different person. But the whole being pseudo porn thing, while also advertising to kids as your main market, not a great plan. Yeah, you got to choose one or another. And in Webtoon's case, if they want to go the pornographic route, then maybe they should just have an off-branch website for that stuff specifically. Just my thoughts, anyways. But I will make fun of Webtoons for being absolute crap any day of the week, because there are so many bad Webtoons out there that just get somewhere because of that pseudo porn element in there. Softcore porn, that's what I would refer to it. I did a video about Tapastic for essentially doing the same thing, where they would post the softcore porn, where it's like, it is porn, it is people like getting each other off, but because you don't visually see the cum coming out of the penis, it's not porn. Oh, sure. But whatever. ID verification or credit card requirement to access the porn stuff. Yeah. But they'll let you see like the difference between the porn scenes and then the regular scenes is just the how would I even put it in ways that YouTube, well, I already said cum coming out of the penis. Yeah, that's basically it. Ain't ecchi manga basically softcore too? Ecchi manga is made for an older audience. Webtoon advertises itself on Cartoon Network. There's a difference. If Webtoon, I'm not even against like free webcomics for kids or anything, but if you're going to advertise yourself as that, then should you really be putting up softcore porn on the website as your Webtoon originals? It's just not. Forgive the pun. It's not coming together nicely. Like I said, you can just have an off branch. You can have a separate section for that type of stuff, but at least try. They're just not trying. They don't care. What did I just come into? Pun intended. Yeah, there you go. And it's very... I have difficulty finding good webtoons in general. Whenever I do, it's like crazy. It's like my world just collapses behind me. Like, whoa, I actually read a good webtoon. What the fuck is going on? Because most of it is not good. It's so difficult to find something where they actually thought through the plot or actually drew the panels instead of just copying and pasting 3D models. It's just, it's difficult. So that's why I don't enjoy webtoons. They make it really difficult for the readership to find good content and not porn. Hard to find the diamonds. Yes, very, very true. Yeah. Not even to mention rape fetishes everywhere. If you want an example, you can head over to or well, you can read the princess, where we read the Princess's Jewels on this channel. You can watch our read through of that. But we've had other better read throughs with Blacklight Jack. Like, oh god, there was this one webtoon. I think it did get taken off. So to their credit, after we made the video, I think they finally took it off. But it was a pee fetish webtoon where this character is very badly drawn, but they really cared about it. It was their passion. They were born to make a webcomic about a character who just can't hold in their pee. And then this guy sees him at high school not being able to hold in his pee, and it really just, it's a love story that just grips the heart. You know? So yeah, that type of stuff, maybe that's not right for 13-year-olds to read. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to make a huge stink about it. I know there are good webtoons out there. They're just more difficult to find because I always just see shit everywhere. So it's tough. It's tough for me to give Webtoon a glowing recommendation when I know that they're shafting hardworking creators who don't want to write about fetishy stuff, and and then like giving Webtoon original publishing deals to a bunch of creators who just want to link people to their Patreon to view the full nudity porn. That's it. Oh, I understand. It's just that there is one webtoon that I liked, Shotgun Boy, and as I plan to publish my webcomic somewhere, why not there, you know? Sure. Although I will say it's difficult to get any traction there. I know a lot of people who are just great artists. They have a webtoon and I've never seen it. I'll like find out later down the line that they had a webtoon, and it's because there's so much content on there. It's chances are just people aren't going to be able to find it. And that's just kind of how it works when there's one platform that people use for everything, you know, it ends up getting buried. And they'll be great artists, like I said before. So the problem isn't the quality at all. It's just people can't find it. Most people who will find your webcomic, no matter where you put it, they're going to find it through social media with you sharing it. With you sharing it and talking about it on social media. That's usually how people will actually find your webcomic. Webtoon is not going to... Webtoon will be a host for you, right? It'll be a platform for you to put up the stuff, but it's not going to bring you to an audience. You have to do all the work to get an audience over to you. So with that in mind, you can post literally anywhere. If you want to post to Webtoon, post to Webtoon. But just like I said, it's not like that specific site is going to lead you to higher places. Because it'll just get buried. And that's just how it works. What are good alternatives to Webtoon? That's a decent question. I know this other one where a couple of my friends used. I think it's Comics Fury? Let me see if I can look it up. Well, that didn't come up. Oh, there it is. Is that it? Yeah. So, full disclosure. I know this website looks like it came from 1991, but I do know a lot of people who post their webcomic here. And just, you know, example. Oh, I didn't realize that it would actually lead me to a different fucking page when I clicked on something. That's annoying. All right, never mind. No example. You don't get an example. Fuck examples. I know some people use that. Obviously, there's Tapastic, but they're kind of guilty of similar stuff to Webtoon. There's Global Comics too. Global Comics. Global Comics. Let me see. Oh, this. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely guilty of the same thing Webtoon does. Maybe there is less content on there though. So I suppose there is that. Less content, less competition. But yeah, definitely. Oh god, I hate it when it does the infinite scroll thing. Because sometimes I want to see the bottom of the page. Sometimes I want to click on the About Us at the bottom of the page. So no, I don't want you to infinitely just have comics pop up every time I scroll down. Piece of shit. So there's that, I guess. Me personally, obviously what I'm doing is I just put together my own website. And then started actually selling my comics. People also post web comics on Twitter or on Instagram. They post like directly on social media since, you're going to get your traffic from social media anyways. A lot, and I mean a lot of manga that was published and printed started off as Twitter webcomics. Tomo-chan is a Boy was a Twitter webcomic. The new anime that just came out, which is good, by the way. I read all the series and I enjoyed it. The Girl I Like Who Forgot Her Glasses, that was a Twitter webcomic. I think My Tiny Senpai was a Twitter webcomic, although she might have posted somewhere else first before posting it to Twitter, but it's posted on Twitter as well. So, keep that in mind, of course, that you don't really have to find a specific webcomic host. You can just post directly to social media, your pages. I know tons of people who do that. Tomo-chan is great. It's all right. Manga Dex. I feel like I've heard of this too. Manga Dex. Mangadex.org. Oh god, the infinite loading screen. I hate that. Yeah. Yeah, this isn't working. All right, I can't. Or let me see, mangadex.com. No, this is not it. Mangadex.tv. Is this what you're thinking of? Yeah, okay. I'm seeing a lot of porn on the first page, so I'm gonna get out of here. I can't recommend a website that I can't even find. Just got back from the water park. Oh, well, welcome back. It's definitely hot enough for that. I thought about using Twitter, but haven't done so yet. I mean, neither have I, of course. I haven't been posting. I mean, like, I post screenshots. That's about as much as I've done when it comes to posting my comics on Twitter. But then again, I've got my own website where I've just been like publishing them and selling them. And I posted some webcomics on that website too that were just like free for anyone to read. But I think I'm actually going to take down that section because I don't really like the comics that are on there. So Manga Dex is for unofficial uploads. That makes more sense. Yeah, fan translations. There you go. Very much as risk of the site disappearing. Yeah. Let's see. Any thoughts on the new Futurama? Haven't really seen any news on the new Futurama, but they're bringing it back from what I remember. Who knows where that's going to end up? Some things should just kind of end. I know Futurama has like stopped at multiple points, and I think all of those points were good stopping points, and then it just kept going. And I feel like maybe you should just leave it. Maybe it's fine. Maybe we should just relax. I don't know. It's on Hulu. Yeah. I have no idea. Bring back Futurama and inject the woke. Well, I don't know what they did. I'm just saying, like, it didn't have to continue. That's my main point. I don't know about it. I don't know what the episodes are like or if it's good. All I know is that it just didn't have to continue. Yeah, and I know that other show that I think the same people from Futurama made. What was it? Disenchanted or something? It was some sort of like fantasy, pseudo fantasy adult cartoon, and it was bad. It was very like generic bad. Like, it was so difficult to try to get into it. I can take a bad pilot sometimes, but then it just kept on going, Yeah, what's it called? Disenchanted? Oh, Disenchantment? Okay. Disenchantment. There you go. This is what it was. Her throne is galling. It wasn't good. Just being honest. When you start off the show and you have like some generic princess-like girl and she's like, "Oh, I don't want to get married." It's like, come on, come up with a different plot. There's so many other interesting plot points you can use for a fantasy setting. Stop using the same thing over and over with the, I don't want to get married because I'm a woman. Feminism means I can't be happy in a relationship. Stop it. But yeah, I only saw like 1 or 2 episodes of it, and it wasn't funny. It wasn't that good. I couldn't take it. And I was like, hey, how about I stop wasting my life watching this show and watch some anime? So that's what I did. And I am happier for it. But with the new hearing that Futurama is going to continue, this was not a good middle, like mid Futurama comeback to show me. I thought it was very cliche. Yes, very cliche. There you go. I heard season 2 was better, but I didn't finish it. Her season was 2 better? It's funny because I read that as I heard season 2 was better, which I think is what you meant, but it does say heard season was 2 better. Well, whatever. You know what you could do? You could do a good fantasy. You want to do like a good fantasy with different plot than don't want to get married because feminists don't want to get married. I'm just saying you can do a different plot. but you know how it is. So, you know what? Now we're in 6 minutes. Have already gone by. I didn't even notice. I mean, I guess we just got like so. Man, we spent like most of the Friday talking about webtoons. But I guess that makes sense. I guess I do webtoons videos now with the read-throughs. So thank you guys for joining me on this Friday. Horizon Quest finished, fulfilled. I did it. Yay. And Reaper coming out, maybe, possibly. A preview read, at least, is coming out soon. You'll be able to read a good chunk of that story, and that's going to be great. I'll have to like make a video announcing it and telling you guys where you can read it, and then hopefully we'll get more emails on that mailing list so we can launch. Exciting. Thanks for the super sticker, Coconut. Very nice. All right. Thank you guys for watching, for coming on the stream and hanging out with me. It's been fun. I gotta head out though. So I'll see you next week. And until then, I bid you adieu. Bye.